Good evening and welcome to the only live television show on Sarasota politics. I'm the host, Ron Filipkowski, and this is Clout 941. If you want to watch any of our past shows, go to our website. You see it on the screen. Also, we'd like to get everybody's email address if possible. If you're a viewer of the show, you like the show, you can get on our email list. We have about 2,500 people on it, and we send out links to our past shows and updates on what's coming up on next week's show. So if you send us your email on the email address on your screen, we'll keep you updated. Tonight's guest, we're going to have Rita Ferrandino, who is the chair of the Democratic Party of Sarasota, and she's going to talk about her slate for 2010 and some of the other races as well as some of the other issues, so we're excited about that. But first, commentary on the news. New Hampshire Senator Bob Smith, who lives in Sarasota now, has decided to get back into politics and is jumping into the Senate race to make it a three-way race between himself, Governor Christ, and Marco Rubio. Should be an interesting race, and we're hoping to get him on the show very soon. Next, the Republican Party of Florida muscled Charles Bronson out of the Republican primary for governor to endorse Bill McCollum early on. Not so sure this kind of tactic is a good idea. I think contested primaries are good for whichever candidate emerges because you drum up a lot of news media coverage during the primary season, and I think it's more beneficial than hurtful, but the Republican Party of Florida disagrees with me. They tried to muscle out Marco Rubio out of the Senate race, but he's not somebody that's going to be muscled. Next, I'm calling for a constitutional amendment. The state of Florida has an interesting provision in the Constitution to require all bills be voted on by the legislature deal with only one single subject. It's called the single subject rule, and it's a great rule. And so when you vote for something in the Florida legislature, it's up or down on the issue that you're voting on. However, not so in the federal system where we have what's called log rolling, and we saw a really bad abuse of that last week where we had one bill that dealt with credit card interest rates and being able to carry concealed guns, firearms at national parks in the same bill. So you had people who liked half of it, didn't like the other half, and had to vote in favor, up or down, on that vote, even though the two parts of the bill had nothing to do with each other. This is a bad idea. I'd like to see a constitutional amendment to require each bill in Congress be voted up or down on one subject and one subject only. Next, Governor Christ refuses to appoint a judge for an open vacancy in the 5th DCA. We have what's called the Judicial Nominating Commission in Florida, which is very unique, where a panel of citizens from the community give the governor a list of 5 names, and he has to pick one of those names. But since there were no African Americans among the 5 on the list that he was given, he refused to appoint anybody to the court because he felt it wasn't diverse enough. Interestingly enough, it's the liberal scholars who put that provision for a judicial nominating commission that are coming out and suing the governor. Next, the city of Venice. As we know, the city commission in Venice is probably the dumbest political body that exists in Florida. And they continue to do embarrassing, foolish things. Now they're going after the ice cream man. They don't like the music that is being played from the ice cream truck that goes around the city of Venice, and so they want take up new business and ban the ice cream man playing music. What's next? Now our guest tonight, on that note, another person who hates the ice cream man, the chair of the Democratic Party of Sarasota, Rita Ferrandino.
Hi, Ron.
Just kidding.
And I want it on the record that I do like ice cream.
What about the ice cream man?
And I grew up with the ice cream man in Reading, Pennsylvania, and so I'm in favor of ice cream men, just
okay.
Based on that history.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Now, we haven't had you on the show in a while, and I do want to talk about what's coming up. But first of all, tell us, what does the chair of the Democratic Executive Committee or Democratic Party do?
Well, as you know, it's a volunteer job, and we're a very large organization. I often say that my Republican counterpart and I do very similar jobs, and that is we are responsible for the infrastructure of the party here locally. At this time of the year, which is in between elections, what we do is we focus our time on candidate recruitment, getting our precincts organized, getting our vacancies filled within the party leadership, and we spend a lot of our time on the Democratic side strategically planning for the next election the next round of elections, which for us is 2010.
Now, the last time we had you on your show, which was a while ago, was right after, I think, right after the '08 elections, and what we talked about is how Obama did very well, almost carried Sarasota, but a lot of the local candidates didn't do as well. You said a priority was to raise money for the local party. I wanted an update on that. How are you doing?
Well, you know, what we learned in the last set of elections is we saw money pour into this county to support Republican candidates from many diverse PACs. We just recently did an analysis of the amount of money that funneled in from PACs into the state House and the Senate, the Florida State Senate race. And what we found is some candidates here locally received 131 PACs contributing into their campaigns. We had one candidate here on the Republican side who received funding from over 150 PACs. And so what that means for the Democrats moving forward is we have to be very strategic about our fundraising. We need to know what it's going to take to be able to win. And we're going to need to be very prepared this time to be able to play on the financial, we're going to have to be able to get our message out, and that means having the money to do it.
These are political action committees based out of Tallahassee primarily? Is that what they are?
Primarily.
Okay.
Actually across the state.
When we come back from our first break, we're going to talk about the upcoming 2010 elections with Rita Ferrandino.